Well, good evening, Sigma race fans. We only have 5 races left here in the Sigma Cup Series, and things are definitely getting heated up. Al Bunch has been faltering here the last couple weeks, allowing for Brian DeBlank to close that gap, along with wins from Bradley Reim and Braden Varga, as they're both chasing him down for the title. And, of course, within the next couple weeks is the Music Fest Grand Prix, so that'll be a key race in this title battle all the way down to the finish. Tonight is our last road course on the schedule here at Kyalami in South Africa for the Citizen 202. Starting on the front row, you've got a Jaguar lockout of Eli the Wolf and Dalton Scott. Next row, it is Chaz Chadwick and Brian DeBlank, followed by rookie contenders Rich Roy and Bradley Reim. Michael, the misguided Missile LeBeau, starting in the top 10 here alongside Tasha Wright. Maggie Reams and Al Bunch starts in the top 10 here today. Aunt Me Person made it through the sprint qualifier along with Jordan Walker there. Ewan Wood Army and Lucas Holmes. Tristan Reams and Braden Varga. Tom Cording and Bella Fawn. Cooper Dwight and Carson Bowers, the two teammates there. Jacob Shangle and Kellen Relic, the OGs. James Fireball Robert, your 2025 All-Star winner, alongside Lynn Farrell. Tayden Bergeron and Tyler Shangle. John Hagan and Kevin Xavier. Tyler Landa and Guido Piano. Kara Shangle and Justin Daytu. Chris Harvey and Trevor Walker. Louis Trost and Tyler Aspinall. Jack Ross and Andre Stefan. Nate Newman and Gannon Bird. Monty Shangle, Matthew Fastnot, and rounding out your field here tonight is Finley Herwig, making one of his select starts here in the Cup Series. And this should be an interesting one. 82 laps around the very unique road course here in South Africa. Right down this stretch here, there's been a recorded fatality in Formula One competition at this racetrack. It's gruesome what had happened in that race back in 1977. But tonight, there ain't going to be no fatalities in Sigma Cup racing. Maybe some concussions and contusions, but we are off and rolling here tonight from Kyalami. Getting the early lead, it's going to be Dalton Scott rolling into turn 1 here. Doubled up behind them. They are just rolling through the turns, side by side by side. Brian DeBlank gets into second. Eli the Wolf up to third. Bradley Ream in fourth. Now the battle for fifth begins. Chaz Chadwick and Tasha Wright side by side. Chaz is going to settle in front of Tasha. Tasha in front of Rich Roy, but Roy ain't giving up. He's going to go for the position on Tasha as Al Bunch is under attack by the misguided missile Michael LeBeau. Once we get one lap in the books here, they can start kind of settling into a rhythm and routine. As is customary in Sigma Cup action, there's no cautions unless we decide that it's worthy to throw a full course caution. Road courses tend to take long enough as is. We don't need any stoppages during the race. So really brings out the strategy calls here when you've got drivers that don't get any cautions to slow down the pace of the race. One of the more exciting things about road course racing usually is the strategies that do unfold. And so one of the things I love the most with Sigma Cup racing on road courses, Sigma racing in general on the road courses, is the very strict caution policy to not throw the caution unless there's oil down, or we'll make a judgment call when those times do arise. Dalton Scott, this is his farewell tour. He's been in it since 2010. He is the inaugural Sigma Cup champion back in 2010. and celebrating the 15th anniversary this year, driving the number 15 car. He was most synonymous with driving the number 5, number 53, and now he's added a bunch of wins to his name. 6 wins so far this season under the number 15. Brian DeBlank. Brian DeBlank's actually run really good at Kyalami, running up the ladder. He actually had a good podium finish here in Bridge to Cup a couple years ago, so seems like this is a track that suits him well. So with 5 races left to go, max points that can be obtained by anyone who is to win and max points over the competition, they could gain about 1,000 points in these final 5 races. Brian DeBlank sitting second right now in the points. He's 198 points back. You can make up about 200 points in a singular race. So that goes to show you with these double points applied, Brian DeBlank is only about 1 race separated from Al Bunch. Now, if Al Bunch finished 43rd here today, if he had a mechanical failure that knocked him out of the race, and Brian DeBlank won the race here at Kyalami, he would leave tonight your new points leader with just 4 races left to go in the season. Al Bunch's struggles have been highly documented lately, that he has not been, maybe the pressure, maybe a little bit of buckling under pressure here for the 81 team, is it's been a little harder for him to get up front, lead all the laps, and dominate like he is very well known to do. But he's still holding on top 10 right now, running in 8th. Brian DeBlank in 2nd. Dalton Scott leading the race. He sits 3rd in the points, 228 points back. So Dalton Scott's very much still in the mix, especially if he can start winning them, racking up those wins against against Al Bunch like this. It's going to get interesting. DeBlank seems to lose a little bit of ground, and then he starts to gain it back on Dalton. It's kind of an ebb and flow right now as Dalton leads the way. But Brian DeBlank not letting him get too far away. Well, as the laps continue to tick on here, Dalton Scott leads over Brian DeBlank and Eli the Wolf. These three are up at the top, starting to develop a gap to the rest of the field here. Bradley Reams up to 4th, Chaz Chadwick 5th, Tasha Wright 6th, Rich Roy, Al Bunch, Michael LeBeau, and Jordan Walker, your top 10. Have not been able to update the Rookie of the Year status yet, but after tonight, I'm going to try to get points tallied like I have been and do the Rookie of the Year standings as well, so that we've got 4 more races left, and we've got ourselves a nice, neat little ribbon to kind of set us up for the final 4 races. Dalton Scott at the front of the field here. He's looking to add his 7th win on the season. Correction, my bad. He's looking for his 8th win on the season. It's been a tremendous push here from Dalton Scott. His and Al Bunch's stats are almost tit for tat. Al Bunch with 6 wins, 19 top 5s, 22 top 10s, and 4 DNFs. If you look at Dalton Scott, he's got 7, 17, 21, and also 4 DNFs as well. The pole positions, Al Bunch has 14 to Dalton Scott's 10. And I mean, the real big problem for Dalton Scott is he's missed 4 races this season. The sprint qualifiers have thrown him a curveball. He might have a flat tire or get tied up in a wreck, and that eliminates him from the main event that night. So Dalton has been on an uphill climb to earn his 2nd career championship. Al Bunch, on the other hand, it's been a walk in the park fight for his 2nd championship. We have never had a repeat champion in Sigma Cup competition, and this year it's very possible that either Dalton or your defending champion, Al Bunch, could get their 2nd title. But you got Brian DeBlank sitting in 2nd here tonight, trying to prove that he belongs and that he should be at the table of champions at the year's end. His chase, well, double points run here, he's had a lot of good finishes. His worst finish being that of 25th at Bristol. Otherwise, it's been 15th or better for all these double point races, and that is the mark of a champion right there. When your double points mean all that much, that's where you can make up a lot of a deficit that Al Bunch has built. And who knows, maybe rolling into the Music Fest Grand Prix, maybe ZZ Top can shine a little bit of good juju on Brian DeBlank's championship hopes. We're really setting up for the Music Fest Grand Prix, meaning a lot for this title. And I'm excited to see in 3 weeks' time how that battle is going to materialize. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be, that moment in time is going to decide a lot of things going into the final 3 races from the Music Fest Grand Prix. So if you haven't been excited about the Music Fest Grand Prix yet, you should be, because it's going to be you're going to have some title implications on the line as well, making it all that much more exciting to follow along with. So far, we're 15 laps down, 67 laps to go here from Kyalami. I'm sure around lap 25 to 30 is the window for pit stops here today, so we will see how long or how late some of these drivers push to get that first pit stop under their belt. Dalton Scott leading all these laps from pole position. He could look to try and maximize on max points here tonight. That would go a long ways and get him back into that title hunt. It's not past the realm of it's possible, very possible, that Dalton Scott could get past Brian DeBlank here tonight. He ain't gonna be able to get past Al Bunch without another race of points to build on, since Al Bunch has more than one race lead over Dalton Scott. But if Dalton Scott's lucky, he could leave here with about a 28-point deficit if Al Bunch has a bad one. And with one of the rare sights here tonight, we do have a 43-car field, so that does open up the points book a little bit deeper. Not every race that we've been to this year has 43 cars on field. Usually it's 42. And the worst for 42nd would be 2 points. Or rather, 4 points, my bad. And then last place today, 43rd, will be credited with 2 points. Music Fest Grand Prix is going to have a higher weighted point system, since we will have a field of 45 for the main event. Another one of our big marquee events with a full field, 45 cars. It's going to be a spectacular one. And so these drivers rolling into that, that's going to factor into the points a little bit. Al Bunch is not going to be able to rest easy at all going to the end of the season. Al's still running in 8th. He's about a second off of his fastest lap, and he still hasn't been able to catch up to the top 7 here. We'll have to see if things change with pit stops, if maybe the strategies can help Al Bunch get back up to the front here. Alrighty, so we are 30 laps down. No pit stops yet. That means the window is a little bit deeper than I anticipated, as your leaders are going to run it a little bit longer past lap 30 here, so into the lap 31. far, Dalton Scott has led 53 laps here today. That ties up led most laps bonus for Mr. Scott. Brian DeBlank could still steal the win from him here on strategy. And so at the moment, pit stops are happening. 23 laps to go, last round of pit stops here coming up. Would you look at that? Brian DeBlank, Dalton Scott side by side for the lead here coming off the pits. That was their last round of pit stops, so this should be the battle for the win. Brian DeBlank's going to have fresher tires to Dalton Scott, who had pitted a few laps prior. This could get interesting, folks. Brian DeBlank trying to get as many points tied up to try and catch Al Bunch in that title hunt. 21 laps to go here tonight. Al Bunch pit now. As is majority of the rest of the drivers, mostly pitting. Well, Dalton is driving away with this one here tonight, folks. 15 laps to go, and it's been a dominant performance from the 2010 champion Dalton Scott. He is seeking his 8th win this season to help keep him up in the top 10, top 5 of the winningest drivers in Sigma Cup history. Brian DeBlank second, Bradley Reim up to third. Tasha Wright, she's been a road course savant the last couple races. She had a chance to win at Lakeside and came home third. Fighting in fourth right now with the fastest lap in the race. Who knows what she could come up with here at the end. Al Bunch drops backwards from 8th back to 9th, back to 10th. Where did Al Bunch fall to through all the transitions here? 11th. Those are going to be big points gained for the 85 of Brian DeBlank, the 9 of Braden Varga, even the 78 of Bradley Reim, the 15 of Dalton Scott. They're all going to gain points on Al Bunch here today. And that title is only going to creep tighter and tighter at the end of the season here. 14 laps still to go. I mean, Al Bunch better try to hold on to that 11th place finish, or else he's going to be hemorrhaging even more points here at the end of the year. Dalton Scott has not shown any sign of weakness here tonight. It has been domination from the 15 camp. Alrighty, the final 2 laps, and Brian DeBlank is caught up to Dalton Scott here. Doesn't matter how many laps you lead, it's all about leading that last lap. And here, Brian DeBlank is caught right up to the back bumper of Dalton Scott. It could be for the win, or he might not have enough. We'll see. Lap traffic may help him a little bit here, as a couple laps will remain once they get around to the start-finish line this time. Tasha Wright in 4th, Eli the Wolf 5th, Chaz Chadwick, Rich Roy, Jordan Walker. Man, what a top 10. You got Braden Varga, a lot of rookies leading the top 10 here today. Tom Cording in 10th. Al Bunch was 11th. It looks like he still is. He's holding on to 11th for now over Bella Fawn. Carson Bowers, another rookie. His team owner, Cooper Dwight, right behind him. And Michael, the misguided missile LeBeau, with a top 15 run here tonight. Tristan Reams, who had won 7 road courses just a couple years ago. We haven't seen that from him since then, but he's a decent road course racer. Ewan What Army, Ant Me Person, Guido Piano, and Lucas Holmes rounding out your top 20. DeBlank is the closest he's been here tonight on the tail bumper of Dalton Scott. He should have fresher tires, so if he has an opportunity, he could get around the 15 here and drive away with it. But presenting the opportunity may not be as easy to execute on here, as that 15 has just been lights out so far. This is going to be the #1 spot for an attempt to try and take the lead. White flag waving, one more lap to go here in South Africa from Kyalami Road Circuit. DeBlank's downhill. He's going to have a shot, but is he going to be able to execute? No, not quite. Still got plenty of lap left here, though, to make it happen. Traffic ahead could rear its ugly head for Dalton Scott. Big points day for Dalton Scott, Brian DeBlank, regardless of the finish here. DeBlank has caught him. DeBlank is running out of opportunities here to make the pass. As you get to the tail end of the race circuit here, he's going to only have little room left to make something happen. This is a neat run here down the front half of the field. Very dangerous part of the circuit there for track officials. And Dalton's going to roll away with it here tonight, folks. He wins the Citizen 202, earning his 8th win on the season and eking ever closer to Al Bunch for that title. Bringing it home third is Bradley Reams. Tasha Wright in 4th. Eli the Wolf 5th. Chaz Chadwick, Rich Roy, Jordan Walker, Tom Cording, Braden Varga, and Al Bunch with an 11th. Bella Fawn, Carson Bowers, Cooper Dwight, and Michael LeBeau. Well, folks, I am going to be excited to get the points tallied up here tonight. Rookie of the Year points tallied up. And we're going to have 4 more races to go to determine the champion this year. I do feel like Al Bunch is starting to lose the grip that he had, the stranglehold on the whole field, as he's starting to look more human here at the end of the year. An 11th ain't bad, but it's just short of a top 10, which is going to be your big money-making points positions here. Unfortunately for him, he's going to lose some ground here tonight. Well, another huge night for Dalton Scott. And 8 wins on the season to Al Bunch's 6th. It's going to be right down to the wire here, folks. I feel like good old-fashioned battle for the championship. A full 42 races, no gimmicks, no eliminations. We're seeing the raw, the adrenaline, the wear-off, the factor of an entire season culminating into one at the end here. And these drivers, some of them may have, a little bit of wear and tear for as many races this season holds. Al Bunch starting to show his humanity, and the other drivers are stepping up to the challenge. So the next race will be at Gateway, which is St. Louis, or what's the name of the other name for the track? Gateway, basically, in St. Louis. So it'll be prelude to the Music Fest Grand Prix from Nashville. So things are gonna get exciting here in the next few weeks. Well, folks, with that, it is a wrap here tonight. Congratulations yet again to Dalton Scott on his farewell tour, wrapping up another win. He is really trying to take the gauntlet to Al Bunch here. Points will be scored. Look out for those, and Rookie of the Year updated as well. So thanks again for tuning in, folks. Have a great night. Stay safe out there. And until next time, this is Jakester.